What's up, everybody? Ryan here. I am one half of Tharby Dragons, and my goodness, man. Fantastic. Welcome back to the Skyrim Primer. First episode, we talked about the Civil War. The second one, we talked about dragons and Draugr and everything. So what we're going to do now is we're going to focus on the main story. We're going to get ourselves up to Whiterun. And it's not too far. Let's see here. Yeah, so basically just north along the road. First thing I guess we should talk about is Whiterun itself. It is it's not the capital of Skyrim. What happened to you? It's not the capital of Skyrim exactly. It's the capital of one of the holds. Oddly enough, Whiterun hold. It's in the plains, and it's a beautiful little city, kind of built up on a hill. And what has happened to all these critters? My goodness. It's kind of built up on a hill, and the main thing you see there is Dragon's Reach. And if you've played before, you know that the Skyforge is there, and it's not my favorite city, but it's a pretty good city. So, way back when man first came to Tamriel from Atmore and everything, and you can see Whiterun off in the distance there, and you can see Dragon's Reach way at the top. When we first came here, the elves and man actually got along because we didn't know any better. And it didn't take long before the elves realized that human reproduction goes at a much greater rate than the elven one, and man really started to kind of take over. So the elves basically decided to... Oh, okay, render. Sorry, I've got my my distance rendering turned down just to make sure my frames don't drop too low here. So the elves basically said, that's enough, and they kind of made up their minds to... Jeez. How about that? They made up their minds to get rid of man. So something called the Night of Tears, and they pretty much eliminated the entire race of man on Tamriel. There were some people that escaped. Somebody named Ysgramor, who you're going to hear much more about, and his two sons actually escaped, and they came back with the 500 companions. And you probably know the companions quest, especially if you've played this before. I have extended towns and cities on, so if you don't have that, this is just an extra market they kind of added to the outside, so you can see that it's populated with all kinds of fun stuff. But we're going to head right up to the city. So they came back on a ship, a bunch of ships, and with the 500 companions, they basically resettled Tamriel and did their best to kind of get rid of the elves that did their best to get rid of man. Whiterun itself was founded by a guy named, oh geez, let's see if I can remember, Jeek. That's right, Jeek of the River. Jeek of the River was actually the captain of the Jorvaskr, or Horvaskr, however you want to say it. And if you don't remember, Horvaskr is actually the home of the companions. And it is the first building they put up here. They built this place next to the Skyforge. The Skyforge is the main blacksmithing place here. The elves revered it, and stay away, stay away.
Halt! City's closed with the dragons about. Official business only.
Let's see here. Let's persuade.
Fine, but we'll be keeping an eye on you.
Fair enough. So the Skyforge was here. The elves really they feared it, so they didn't have too much to do with it. But man settled here, and they settled here because of the Skyforge, and they built the city of Whiterun around it. The city itself has got 3 different districts. The one we're going to kind of come in here first is called the Plains District. And then a little bit farther up is the Wind District, and then all the way at the top where Dragon's Reach is the Cloud District. But of course you probably don't go there very often. Dragon's Reach was built by a guy named Jarl Olaf One-Eye. Very, very classic name. If you've played ESO, I do believe he's in that game. I'm trying to remember. It was a while ago when I ran through the quest there. But Olaf One-Eye was another a shouter, somebody who could shout. And he built Dragon's Reach actually to... Hold on, let's get some story here.
I just can't fill an order that size on my own. Why don't you swallow that stubborn pride of yours and ask Yorland Greymane to help?
I'd sooner bend my knee to Ulfric's Stormcloak. Besides, Greymane would never make steel for the Legion.
Have it your way. I'll take the job, but don't expect a miracle.
Fantastic. So, welcome to Whiterun. Awfully green and lovely here. So this is the Plains District. It's called the Plains District because it is the lowest, geographically the lowest district in the city. Let's talk to her.
Got some good pieces out here if you're looking to buy. More inside. Plenty. I'd say we're prosperous enough. Most folk don't go hungry, if they're willing to work hard. The city's ruled by the Jarl up in Dragon's Reach. That's the fortress there, up on the tall hill. But you're probably more interested in your Vasker, Mead Hall of the Companions. Their deeds of war and valor are legendary.
Very, very lovely. So there's our intro quest to go talk to the companions. You noticed when we came in, there were two people talking. There was a Greymane, somebody named a Greymane, and there are two old families here in Whiterun, the Battleborns and the Greymanes. The Battleborns are the wealthier of the two. The Greymanes are more modest. The Battleborns, the wealthy ones, they kind of support the Empire, and the Greymanes support the Stormcloaks. Being the old families, they actually both have ties to Ysgramor. He was the one I told you that kind of that came here with the 500 companions and his sons and everything to take Skyrim back for the Nords. But now the two families really hate each other. You heard that the guy said a Greymane would never make steel for the Empire. The Greymanes support the Stormcloak Rebellion, and the Battleborns support the Empire. So while they used to be friendly and nice with each other and get along, now not so much. So here is your Vasker. So you can actually see it's made out of a ship. I think my first playthrough I never actually noticed that, which is kind of interesting. So they actually built this mead hall out of the ship, or one of the ships that they used to sail over here. The companions used to be really respected and everything in Tamriel. Oh, okay. Yeah. I just got myself a little blessing at Talos there. We'll talk about Talos a little later. And he never shuts up. Never shuts up. Yep. Let's see if I can find it. I think, let's see here. If I remember right, there's a skeleton that's always floating in here. I have no idea why. I've looked it up. I haven't been able to find anything. So if you do know, let me know. But I think that there's a skeleton floating in these waters somewhere. Pretty sure, anyway. We'll be able to see him. Skeleton? I'm sure he'll pop up when I'm not looking. So we're coming up to Dragon's Reach, and I mentioned Jarl Olaf One-Eye. He was able to shout a dragon, well, according to the stories, he was able to shout a dragon into submission. Now, whether or not he made a deal with the dragon, or he snuck up on the dragon when it was sleeping, or there's even theories that since he was able to speak in tongue, dragon language and everything like that, that it's actually sort of like an avatar of himself. But whatever you believe, the reason Dragon's Reach is so gigantic, and we'll go in here and just see how gigantic. The reason Dragon's Reach is so absolutely gigantic is Olaf brought this dragon back. And the dragon's called Numenex, although it's probably not his real name. He brought this dragon back, this captured dragon back, and he kept it as a pet. And in order to have a dragon as a pet, you have to have a gigantic place to put it. And that's why Dragon's Reach is absolutely huge. Later on, we're going to talk to Parthenax, and there's a whole bunch of really weird theories about, who Numenex was, and Parthenax says he used to come here and talk to the dragon because the dragon was just so completely broken and lonely. And you look angry. You look very angry.
What's the meaning of this interruption? Jarl Balgrup is not receiving visitors.
Who's this then?
I have news from Helgen about the dragon
Well,
attack.
that explains why the guards let you in. Come on then. The Jarl will want to speak to you personally.
So yeah, this is Dragon's Reach. This is where they kept the dragon Numinex, and you can see what's left of Numinex right up here. Theoretically, once again, it's a lot of theories. Here's the head of Numinex. So Numinex was either mercy killed by Parthenax, or Olaf One-Eye killed him, or excuse me, or Olaf killed him, or the dragon simply died for loneliness or whatever reason, and they put his head off and they stuck it right up here. So let's talk to Jarl here.
You were at Helgen. You saw this dragon with your own eyes? Really? You're certainly forthright about your criminal past. But it's none of my concern who the Imperials want to execute, especially now. What I want to know is, what exactly happened at Helgen?
The dragon destroyed Helgen, and last I saw it was heading this way.
Smear Irileth was right. What do you say now, Proventus? Shall we continue to trust in the strength of our walls against the dragon?
My lord, we should send troops to Riverwood at once. It's in the most immediate danger. If that
The Jarl of Falkreath will view that as a provocation. He'll assume we're preparing to join Ulfric's side and attack him. We should not...
I'll not stand idly by while the dragon burns my hold and slaughters my people. Irileth, send a detachment to Riverwood at once.
Yes, my Jarl.
If you'll excuse me, I'll return to my duties.
That would be best. Well done. You sought me out on your own initiative. You've done Whiterun a service, and I won't forget it. Here, take this as a small token of my esteem. There is another thing you could do for me. Suitable for someone of your particular talents, perhaps. Come, let's go find Farengar, my court wizard. He's been looking into a matter related to these dragons and rumors of dragons.
Okay, so what you got there was a little bit of taste of the Civil War, because Whiterun is listed as a neutral city, but it doesn't really seem to be the case. You could see that Proventus there was worried that other holds would see sending troops to Riverwood, where we just were, as an act of war,
I think I found someone.
and it's a little delicate here.
Dragon Project. Go ahead and fill him in with all the details.
So the Jarl thinks you can be of use to me. Oh yes, he must be referring to my research into the dragons. Yes, I could use someone to fetch something for me. Well, when I say fetch, I really mean delve into a dangerous ruin in search of an ancient stone tablet that may or may not actually be there. Straight to the point, eh? No need for tedious hows and whys. I like that. Leave those details to your betters, am I right? I, learned of a certain stone tablet said to be housed in Bleak Falls Barrow. A dragon stone, said to contain a map of dragon burial sites. Go to Bleak Falls Barrow, find this tablet, no doubt interred in the main chamber, and bring it to me. Simplicity itself.
Now, one of the reasons I always do that Golden Claw quest first is because when you get the Golden Claw, we also found the Dragonstone.
The Dragonstone of Bleak Falls Barrow. You already found it. You are cut from a different cloth than the usual brutes the Jarl foists on me. That is where your job ends and mine begins. The work of the mind, sadly undervalued in Skyrim.
Wait for me.
Okay, so you can kind of see on the map here, Here's Riverwood down here. This is where we started, and we're up in Whiterun. This is all Whiterun Holda right in the middle, and you can see it's kind of the plains. Its location makes it a nice...
A dragon's been sighted nearby.
Oh, jeez.
You should come too.
A dragon? How exciting. Where was it seen? What was it doing?
I'd take this a bit more seriously if I were you. If a dragon decides to attack Whiterun, I don't know if we can stop it. Let's go.
So yeah, Whiterun was centrally located, and that's kind of why it's such a big, successful city. So let's hear this battle plan.
You came from the Western Watchtower?
Yes, my lord.
Tell him what you told me about the dragon.
Oh, that's right. We saw it coming from the south. It was fast. Faster than anything I've ever seen.
What did it do? Is it attacking the Watchtower?
No, my lord. It was just circling overhead when I left. I never ran so fast in my life. I thought it would come after me, for sure.
Good work, son. We'll take it from here. Head down to the barracks for some food and rest. You've earned it. Irileth, you'd better gather some guardsmen and get down there.
I've already ordered my men to muster near the main gate.
Good. Don't fail me. There's no time to stand on ceremony, my friend. I need your help again. I want you to go with Irileth and help her fight this dragon. You survived Helgen, so you have more experience with dragons than anyone else here. But I haven't forgotten the service you did for me in retrieving the Dragon Stone for Farengar. As a token of my esteem, I have instructed Avenici that you are now permitted to purchase property in the city. And please, accept this gift from my personal armory.
I should come along. I would very much like to see.
Nice. So we got ourselves some nice boots and everything. So they say that Whiterun is... I'll go around to the right side of the map here. They say it's neutral, but you can see it right here. It's got the red flag of the Imperials and everything on there. The guards are all carrying Imperial weapons. They even say some of the Imperial things like that. So it's neutral, but it's...
I'll see you at the watchtower.
It's Imperial. It's just, it's not vocal about its Imperialness.
See this dragon up close.
Cause trouble in Whiterun and I'll pull you into the Dragon's Reach dungeon myself.
Alright. So, what just happened is a guard ran down, said they saw a dragon. Not Alduin, hopefully. But another one. So we're going to the watchtower to investigate. So since we're going to fight a dragon, excuse me, I kind of want to talk about dragon speak and dragon words and the language of dragons and everything like that on our way down there. And the soul of a dragon. We are, well, we're about to discover, spoiler alert, that we are something called Dragonborn. And like a lot of other things, there's a lot of debate as whether Dragonborn, and you'll also hear us called Dovahkiin, if they mean the same thing, because Dovahkiin basically means firstborn hunter of dragons. That's sort of firstborn, born hunter of dragons. And you're going to hear lots of things about Dragonborn and what it means to be Dragonborn. So I kind of want to talk about that a little bit. So we're going to hopefully kill this dragon. That's the plan anyway. This is the Wind District, by the way, and up there is the Cloud District. I remember I told you about those, might as well point them out to you. So when we kill a dragon, we're going to be able to absorb its soul. And that's going to be the thing that kind of sets us off on our little path. Hey, free armor. Sets us off on our little path of adventure for the rest of the game. Well, not for the rest of the game, but for a major part of the game. We are lost. Where are we going? We're stuck in the water. Come on. There we go. Alright.
Here's the situation.
So, Dragon Souls are going to be pretty interesting, because remember in the first video, or second video, I think, I told you the Dragon Souls and time have a lot of links to one another. So when we kill a dragon, we actually are able to absorb its soul. Dragon souls are immortal. Dragon bodies you can kill, but Alduin's doing it now. You can take dragon bones, you can do a shout, and you can restore it to a previous period in time when it had its flesh. So the dragon soul seems to be tied to the bones of the dragon itself. So when we kill the dragon, the bones are exposed, and the barrier that would prevent the soul from leaving is down, and we're able to absorb that soul. And we are going to be able to use that soul to learn more shouts, dragon shouts. Now, one of the loading screens, I never liked it because it just seemed really, really cheesy, but to a certain extent, it's true, and it's the loading screen where it says, let's see if we got the right quest here. Dragon riding, meet Irileth. Yeah. So let's see where we're off to here. Okay, so we're going to hit the road and make a right. I can do that. So we use the soul to learn how to say more dragon things. And that one loading screen said basically two dragons fighting is a verbal debate to the death. So when two dragons fight, they speak to one another. And we see it as fire and frost and all sorts of other meteor storms, even in some cases. And we see it as them just shooting fire at each other. But what they're actually doing is they're saying, shouts come in 3 words. Well, there are some that might even come in 4. But the shouts are basically the dragon convincing the universe through sheer will and conviction of its correctness that it is correct. And the more strength of conviction it has, the more the universe believes it. So when a dragon says, and I don't do the whole dragon language thing, but if a dragon says something like fire consume, it's basically saying, you know, I am son of flame, I am fire, you know, feel the burn. And what happens is the universe believes, or the universe bends to the will of that dragon, and it begins to shoot fire or frost or whatever the words that it spoke are. And if a dragon is more powerful, the universe bends more, and the shout is more powerful. So while it is a little bit cheesy to say it's actually just a spirited verbal debate sort of thing, that is what's going on. Now, we're supposed to meet Irileth here. Where is she? She is taking forever. Come on, Irileth. Come on, you can do it. Where are you? Let's see if I can poke them along a little bit. So we're able to, because we are something called Dragonborn, we're able to actually learn and speak these things a little easier without training, because you can be trained to shout. At the very beginning, when you come into the game, you notice that Jarl Ulfric has got, Stormcloak has got a gag on his mouth, and that's because he knows how to shout, and the Imperial knows that, so they actually gag him. That's why he doesn't talk at the beginning. It's because he kind of isn't allowed to. Alright, so we're not going to wait for her much longer. We're just going to kind of run over here and see if we can't get ourselves into a little bit of trouble. So that's what being Dragonborn allows us to do. It allows us to basically kind of bypass the training and the studying and all that stuff. When we get to the Greybeards, we'll talk about them a little bit. Hey, buddy. But it allows us to bypass that. And since we're... Well, that's their fault. Alright, let's see what we got here. Let's get this equipped. So since we have this blood, this soul of a dragon, we're able to not only learn these things, but we know what it means in dragon speak. So if you've ever tried to learn another language, you know that there isn't a... Where you at? Hey, buddy. There isn't a one-to-one correlation. One word in English does not have a corresponding word in other languages, and that's... Okay. Yep. Man, this bow is cheesy. Come on. So you can actually hear the dragon talking now. So since we are Dragonborn, we have the soul of a dragon and everything else, we're able to have more conviction, more... Bad. Oh, not so bad. Hey, quick, come back. we're able to have more conviction, which means our words of power are going to be a little bit stronger. Alright, come on, buddy. Where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you at? Silly drag. Hey, this is bad. This is bad. This is bad. Sprint. Sprint away. Run away. Run away. Oh, that was spicy. Oh gosh. Well, he's probably fine. One of the things I do love is when you actually do get to the point where this dragon dies, you can... Let's get in there and do a little damage here. And... And you can hear him say Dovahkiin when he dies, and that's our names. So, hold on, let me heal up here. I must be. So let's... Yay. Let's see if we can see here. Hunting bow, steel dagger. Man, figures I find the one that doesn't have an imperial sword. Search the dragon here. So once again, the soul is bound to the bones of a dragon. We think anyway. I mean, I've never really been a dragon. Hey, been a dragon. So when the dragon dies, we kind of get rid of that barrier.
I can't believe it. You're Dragonborn. In the very oldest tales, back from when there were still dragons in Skyrim, the Dragonborn would slay dragons and steal their power. That's what you did, isn't it? Absorb the dragon's power. There's only one way to find out. Try to shout. According to the old legends, only the Dragonborn can shout without training, the way the dragons do.
Alright, well, you know what? You asked for it. So what we're going to do now is we've just absorbed our first dragon's soul, and it's called Unrelenting Force. It is classic. Who should I? Yeah, let's just... Yeah, what do you think of that?
Those born with the dragon blood in them, like old Tharby himself.
I've never heard of Tharby killing any dragons.
There weren't any dragons then, idiot. They're just coming back now for the first time in forever. But the old tales tell of the Dragonborn who could kill dragons and steal their power. You must be one.
What do you say, Irleth? You're being awfully quiet.
Yeah, what do you say, Irleth?
Tell us, do you believe in this Dragonborn business?
Some of you would be better off keeping quiet than flapping your gums on matters you don't know anything about. Here's a dead dragon, and that's something I definitely understand. Now we know we can kill him. But I don't need some mythical dragonborn. Someone who can put down a dragon is more than enough for me.
You wouldn't understand, Asgard. You ain't an orc.
I've been all across Tamriel. I've seen plenty of things just as outlandish as this. I'd advise you all to trust in the strength of your sword arm over tales and legends.
That was shouting, what you just did. Must be. You really are Dragonborn.
Nice. So I just noticed something. This guy's name is Hrad the Bagnose. I mean, he seems okay. So, actually, let's drop something here. I cannot stand being over-encumbered. It makes my heart cry. So, 1? Really? Oh, man. Alright, what can we drop here? I don't need fur boots. So... what you just heard was them calling me Dragonborn, or calling us Dragonborn, because we are all in this together. And what it means to be Dragonborn is you can, like I said, you can learn and speak in the tongue of dragons, but they also mentioned someone like Tibur Septim, and if you played Oblivion at the very beginning, there's Uriel Septim, and they never shouted. But they were also known as Dragonblood, or Dragonborn. So next time, or the next time it kind of comes up, we're going to talk about what it means, the difference between dragon blood and dragonborn, if they are the same thing, and everything like that, because we've just passed about a half hour here And I know you've probably got stuff to do, and while you'd love to stay, I should probably let you get back to your lovely lives until next time. If there is anything you want to hear me talk about, seriously, I've played this game probably 6 times all the way through, and every single time I forget that that happens. And there was a mysterious shout up in the hey, you guys have been busy. All right, well, empty. Somebody already took his toes, man. So if there is anything that you're curious about, just leave a comment, just ask a question. I'd be more than happy to talk about it. If I don't know about it, I am very, very pleased to go and read all the wikis and blow through Reddit and everything like that. But I really appreciate you guys sticking around, and like I said, thank you very much, and I will see you all in the next episode of The Adventures of Tharby Dragons. Man, that's creative. Here on Tharby Dragons. I am Ryan, and I will talk to you next time. So much prettier here at night. Don't you think?
Trouble in Whiterun and I'll haul you into the Dragon's Reach.
Shut up. I didn't. It was rhetorical.